Everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Go Beyond Sports with some people in sports, me, Sonali Gupta, and a very interesting guest today on our show. Thank you so much for liking, watching, and supporting. We have somebody with us today who is soft spoken, who's demure, who is she looks coy, and yet she's somebody who comes into the sport of fast speed, thrill, and she completely blows your mind off when you actually see her. We have Kalyani Potekar with us today, who is an Indian professional motorcyclist, and she comes from the central part of India, Madhya Pradesh. She has been riding motorbikes since 2010. She's a certified mountaineer, an alpine skier, and also a paraglider. Her achievements include being the fastest female motorcycle racer in India in the 600 and the 1000cc categories for the years 2018, 19, and also 2021. She's the only female to actually race in the 600cc category in the JK Tire Superbike Cup, which is breaking all the barriers and records since 2018 and 19. She's been awarded the Outstanding Woman in Motorsports from the Federation of Motorsports Club of India 2018. She's completed level 1, 2, and 3 at California Superbike School at Madras Motor Race Tracks, Chennai, 2017 and 18. She's represented India at the FIM Asia Cup of road racing in Thailand and Taiwan, and finished third place in 2017. She has also secured fourth position in the Indian National Championships 2017. She holds first position in the Honda Make One Series, first position in the Malwa Drag Race Indore. She's been awarded Certificate of Achievement by Triumph Motorcycles. And she has also been a participant at the MTV Chase the Monsoon Season 3 at 2015. Best Striker Girl trophies at Directorate General NCC by the Lieutenant General R.K. Karwal in Republic Day Camp, New Delhi, 2011. And if I could go on, and I'm very sure we've missed so many more of her achievements, it is such an honor and such a pleasure to have you with us, Kalyani. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm going to jump straight into this very first favorite question of mine. Why did you choose sports as something that you wanted to take forward? And then what made you choose biking as a sport?
So I never chose it. I think sports chose me. Because while I was growing up, I was very actively participating in not just regular sports which goes on in school, but also my parents exposed me to adventure sports at a very early age. I remember like I was 10 years old, I think. So like that time I was literally sent for camping experience and all that by my parents. So I have been doing mountaineering, paragliding, and this since I was a kid. So yeah, this journey really started at an early age, and I also come from a royal background. My grandmother belongs to the royal family, so she used to do horse riding, in her teenage and all that. So I think that's in our blood. So that was also one reason why it started early, and also my parents exposed me and my younger sister to this kind of sport. So yeah.
So tell us something, Kalyani. In fact, on a very interesting note, while you mentioned, and I think somewhere it's not out there that you come from this royal family and royal blood, and it's so nice to know, for all of us. Does this support you taking your sport further? Or does it somewhere also then become a limitation for you to not be able to pursue so much because you're probably bound by certain rules and regulations of your title?
I don't think it ever happened that it limited me from getting out and practicing my sport, but I always had that support from my parents, also from my grandparents, like everyone in the family. Like you can do whatever you want. So, especially these kind of sport like horse riding, which are not regular, which are
Right.
not practiced by regular people also. So, we were really supported for this, even though we were at very young age. I remember like 6 or 7 years old. So till that, like since that time, we were pushed to do all kind of sports. So I think that was like we were very lucky to
Right.
have that kind of.
So then, like very clearly, of course, you have a very, you're very fond of horse riding and of your mountaineering and skiing. How and when did you make the switch to motorcycling then?
Okay. So my dad was into motocross racing, and he used to take me to racetrack. So I remember I was 3 months old when he took me to the racetrack for the first time, and after that, whenever he was racing, I was there. I was watching his races. So I think somewhere that interest developed at a very young age. I really used to get fascinated by seeing the motorcycles, the riding gears, the riders, the foreign riders, and their attire and everything. That sound that of the bikes and all that fancy things at that young age. So
Wow.
that kind of attracted me since I was a kid. But I never really thought that I would take this as a profession. And I actually did not know this could be taken up as a profession because I've seen my dad doing it on like weekends, or not, it was not something like a regular job. So yeah, like as a
Right.
profession, never in my
Right.
mind. It was just something you follow.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
tell me then, then being this young girl, uh, and it's especially in a country like ours, somehow, we keep coming back to this question of how easy or then how difficult really it was for you to come into a sport like motorcycling, being a girl. What kind of challenges did you have to face, or how did it then probably make it easy for you to get into?
Uh, if I talk about learning the motorcycle, yes, my dad was there and he taught me at a very early age. So I know how to ride a motorcycle. But when I got my own motorcycle and I used to go to college, definitely there was a different scenario out there. People were not so used to seeing a girl riding a motorcycle. And yeah, there were comments from the society, from the people. There were, boys coming and raving next to you and, telling you, yeah, मतलब संभलती नहीं है तो चलाती क्यों, and like a lot
Right.
of comments were there.
Right.
So when I started this at that time particularly, there were yes a lot of challenges. People were not so used to see more, women riders, but now like as everything has developed and there are a lot of female bikers, so things are changed, people are accepting it, and now that it has become a sport, there are different category also for women in races. So yeah, things are changing and the mentality of people are also developing. People are accepting that yes, women can do this. So yes,
Yeah.
initially there were challenges,
So tell
and
me,
now.
Kalyani, while we are speaking about these little challenges, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are probably going to be facing similar situations, how did you overcome it? What used to be your thought process? How did you go back home and speak to yourself? How did you come back stronger? How did you prepare yourself to, mentally keep up your own game?
So initially, it used to really hurt me at times because people used to, write something on my bike and, do something wrong with my bike, break my mirror or do something of that sort, which would really break me, pass some comments or anything. But, there was a time when I stopped reacting to it.
Right.
So I think that was something which really, when you ignore something, when you don't react to it, it doesn't hamper you and to other as well. When they know that कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है इसको kind of
Right.
attitude. So that actually helped me. Even now also, a lot of times people troll or comment on the social media also. So what I follow is just ignore them, because if
Right.
you are focusing on them, you are giving importance and you are disturbing your own mental peace. So
Right.
those people don't really matter to you. So the only thing to overcome this situation is to ignore them.
Right. Right. And then does it kind of also motivate you to keep going and keep doing better and, wanting to sort of prove yourself back to probably to them and to yourself?
Yeah, of course. People comment or say bad when you're growing. Like
Right.
there is a saying in Hindi also. So, I mean, I don't remember it right now, but
Right.
yeah, you're growing. So these things actually motivate you. Like, yeah, obviously you're doing something better than them. That is why people are saying. So
Right.
that obviously pushes you to do better. So if
Right.
you're saying this, I will do more better, and it of course motivates me.
Right. So how did you train yourself for the races? Like, mentally, yes, you had to do a lot of mental chatter, talk to yourself and all. How did you physically train yourself for the races?
Uh, so about the physical fitness, I prefer a combination of workout. I don't actually prefer going to the gym and working out in the AC and that kind of stuff. But I love doing horse riding. I love doing cycling. I swimming, skating. So mixture of everything, and obviously the core workout and which is required. So I focus on that. So
Right.
yeah, that's how it goes with the physical fitness. And about the mental piece, I would say I just love spending time with my pets, my family. So
Right.
that actually helps me, to heal mentally.
Right. So, is there any kind of, what's a physical aspect of the sport that you really have to maintain? You have to keep fit, probably your weight that needs to be maintained, or some kind of a body structure that's required for it, in terms of speed that kind of helps you to do better?
Yeah, of course, the weight of your body matters because lesser the weight, like it has to be maintained to go faster. So
Right.
that has we really need to take care of. So I do follow a proper diet when it comes to racing.
Right.
I have a proper schedule. When do I work out? When do I have to do take any particular nutrition or anything? So
Right.
everything is planned.
Right.
So yeah, weight plays a very important role, and of course other body parts. Working on whatever is required, the thigh section, and
Yeah.
it goes on. Yeah.
Right. And tell me something that then again, to come back to the sport that you're in, it is speed racing, it is fast, and it's a bike. There's always this general sort of a little fear when it comes to bikes, and even when we go commonly out there on our roads in India, there's always a fear of that little turn or a little somebody getting skidded, somebody sort of losing balance. How does it go then when you're actually racing, apart from the fact that technically there is a lot to it? Again, this whole mental aspect of speed, is it scary, if that's the word I can use? Does speed not only, of course, thrill you in your case because you are one of the racers, but did you always start it like that? Were you always in that thrill zone, or there have been times when you've really got scared with the speed at which you can go, or the speed at which someone else is there, somebody coming close to you? Have those things happened too?
uh, I think I have always been in the thrill mode, because the speed and all those things never really scared me, but it excited me actually. And
Right.
when I can literally say, if someone is close to me, that excites me and pushes me more to open my throttle. So
Right.
that's some sort of adrenaline I feel when I'm racing. So it was never a scary moment, but yeah, there are times when you are sliding, or something
Right.
wrong going with the bike, then you can feel that moment, yeah, that something is wrong. But it was some of the moments were scary, but
Right.
when we are racing, we are absolutely focused, and we know, like, we have to finish it. So
Right.
that is one thing which goes on in the mind, and I think it's the thrill and the adrenaline rush which just keeps us going on.
Right. But then, are there accidents, or have you had injuries, or have you kind of got close to anything which has been probably fatal or drastic, or at least, sort of see it around you all the time?
Yeah, so I have had multiple crashes in the races, before the races, and a lot of times.
Right.
But I think my upbringing and my parents have always told me that whatever you do in life, you have to finish it. So that applies when I'm racing as well. So I remember a lot of times when I've crashed in the races, I've always dusted of myself, picked myself up, and fight till the finish. So that's what I have done.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's quite an amazing, valuable lesson that you put it out there. And, most of us would absolutely learn from it that, you sort of fight till the end to finish what you have started. So, at what age did this sort of come to you where you learned this valuable lesson and then built up your life on it? And, where did you seek the motivation from? Who inspired you? Of course, you mentioned it was your dad, but apart from that, where did you get all this motivation from?
Yeah, of course, my family, my parents, they come first, and later, if I talk about, I follow 8 times world champion Marc Marquez, who is a Spanish motorcycle racer, and I really look up to him. The way he rides, the way he picks him up, like after the crashes, after the injuries, uh, like he crashed just now, and after 2 hours, we see him riding, and we see him crossing the finish line. Being on the podium. So that really motivates me. Like if a guy age is doing like this, obviously I can also do it. So that sort of motivation is there when others are doing, so obviously I can also do it. So
Right.
yeah, looking at other racers and people on the track, so
Right.
it comes from there.
And so then tell me something. If you have to say the three most important lessons that you have learned from motor racing as a sport, what would they be for you?
I think motorcycling as a whole has developed me into a different person, and I've learned a lot in this process. First thing I would say is discipline, uh, patience, and focus. So I think these are the three things which have really helped me to be what I am today.
Right. And tell me, are there any technical aspects of the sport as a motorsport racing that you had difficulties in mastering yourself, or that are usually difficult for most people to master?
Technical things, if I would say, there are a lot of things, but it actually depends on your will and dedication to learn. And I think a lot of people initially get stuck in find it difficult to get down on their knee, which is a technique of circuit racing. So it starts with there. So with me also, I used to practice on roads before. I was not aware of all this, but when I came to the track, I used to see videos, movies, videos of famous racers and all that. And so I think it's your will and dedication where you want to pursue your goal, how you want to take it. So
Right.
I think it depends on that.
Right. And do you think female riders, of course, should join the sport for all of us out there? The more women we have, the more participation we have, and, the more exposure to sports we have. But do you think it is required for more women to sort of join the sport to make it more gender neutral, or also to make the sport free of stereotypes? Like when you started and when we were speaking, you mentioned about what you had to go through as what was the stereotype cast of boys being the bikers and women not being the kind. So do you think this will help change?
I think, of course, this will help change, and I see a lot of female riders coming up, and there is a lot of scope. I think if we have a lot more women in this field, then someday I'm sure we will be having all three women on the podium bashing men. So I really want more female riders to take this as a sport and come up, because it is challenging but exciting at the same point. And yes, more I feel more females should come up.
While you were speaking about, and we were talking about the difficulties that you have as a woman on road, as a biking girl. Do you think that on the circuit itself, as within the sport, there are these differences between women riders and male motorcyclists, and is this bias prevalent in terms of the sports also?
No, it's a completely different environment when it comes to the circuit. I see people racing. I see male riders racing next to me and also helping me on the racetrack. So they try to motivate me and they try to help me out. How can I go faster on some corner, or how can I improve myself? So
Right.
I think it's really different. But like how it goes in a woman thing is the jealousy and all that, but I don't see that with the male riders. They are really out there to help other female rider or anyone. So it's
Right.
completely a different environment, and I just love being there. So yeah, I don't see any kind of differences as such when it comes to the track.
Right. And then, in a very small brief, if you can probably just tell most women who probably are interested in biking and racing but do not know where to start and how to start. Do you think you can just touch that a little bit for them as to how they can get started with into biking?
Right. To start with, I completely understand it's very difficult to convince your parents, and financially, I know it's a very expensive sport to get into. But to begin with, there are schools which are doing special trainings for women, and there is a special category for women. So once you are selected in that particular category, you can race into. You can come and race, and I think that is the first step you have to take if you're seriously interested in racing, and gradually with your performance and everything will fall into place. So, and
Right.
also at one point here, as you said, if more women are coming up in the sport, so I think that will really bring more sponsors and more awareness to the sport, which is really required, because
Right.
motorsports is considered as an entertainment, more as an entertainment than a sport right now, and we really lack for sponsorship and all these kind of things. And it's a very good sport, and yeah, if more women riders are coming up, we can take it to next level.
Right. Okay. And I'm going to ask you this one, question before we get into a little bit of fun. Uh, what would be one tip that you would like to give to people out there for motorcycle racing as a sport?
Uh, okay, so as I said, I know it's expensive, it's difficult to convince your parents, but the thing is, we do it with all the safety, the gears we wear, the trainings we are taking, that everything prepares you to be safer on the track. So it's not that it is dangerous, but if you do it with safety, you will actually enjoy the thrill of it. So it is something a motorcyclist or anyone who is interested in riding bikes should experience once in their lifetime. So yeah, please come to the racetrack and take trainings, do it with safety, and have a taste of it at least once in your lifetime.
Right. And Kalyani, I'm going to ask you a few fun questions. You really have to tell me, what do you prefer, horse riding or bike riding?
Bike riding.
What do you think is more challenging? The motorsport, alpinism, skiing, paragliding?
I think every sport has its own challenges. So I've taken motorsport as a profession, but I think if I take paragliding or any other sport, it will equally have its challenges. So I'm really not sure. But yeah, I think motorsports, of course.
Of course. So my question to you was that motorsports is expensive. Of course, you kind of answered that, but it is expensive, right?
It is expensive. It is very expensive because it's not just about the bike, it's about the riding gears. Especially why I'm telling this, because we don't even get our riding gears here. When it
Right.
comes to a female or whatever, we don't get the
Right.
bag suits and all that in India, which is not available. So it's really expensive. You need to get it from abroad and all that. So a lot of expenses are, and when you crash, so it's
even more
again
difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So and then you have a bike which is actually really expensive.
Right. Yes.
And you would like to tell us which bike it is?
So I own a Triumph Street Triple. That is expensive. Definitely.
And which is your favorite bike?
My favorite bike is the naked one. If we talk about is the KTM Super Duke 1290, and I also love the Ducati V4, which I am luckily riding on the racetrack. So yeah.
And which is your favorite bike for the city?
For the city, I have recently bought the Hero X Pulse, and I really enjoyed riding. Not in the city. I don't ride much in the city, but yeah, I think it just goes like a bullet. So I quite enjoy it.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Kalyani, so much for being with me. It really is a very thrilling experience. Racing is not everybody's cup of tea. Like you really need to have the nerves of steel to be able to race, to be able to hold the fear and the scare. And but like you said, that most of them don't even have the fear and the scare. They're in fact thrilled by the speed and the racing. So thank you so much for sharing all of these little valuable inputs that you have, and for being a part of Go Beyond Sports, especially women in sports. And we really hope to empower and bring about a little more awareness for more women to join all of these different sports that are available for them to participate in, to grow into, and probably also take up as a career.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was really nice interacting with you.
Thank you, Kalyani, and thank you all of you for watching Go Beyond Sports, being with me and supporting not only the guests that we have and the sports that we have, for being a part of this entire community and the movement for bringing about change through sports. Thank you. Do follow, like, and subscribe to Go Beyond Sports on various platforms.